push it in like that. And then here you go, here's some ice cream. And it'll be easier for them to insert, but it won't be easy for the ice cream to fall out. Hello my loopies, I'm going to show you how to crochet my ice cream pattern. Just a caveat that this is an intermediate tutorial, which means some step or we'll have a few demonstration and we'll fast forward to the end of round. First, let's start with 6 single crochet in a magic ring, which I already did it with my 2.5mm hooks. Then we're going to proceed to round 2, which is to crochet an increase for a total of 12 stitches. This is my first time filming a tutorial, so I know the angle is not that clear, so let me know how you like to see the tutorial and then we'll make an update. Once you finish with the round, make sure that you pull the yarn tail tight, so we'll close the hole from our first magic ring. For round 3, we're going to do single crochet increase 6 times for a total of 18 stitches. Don't forget your stitch marker. First, we're going to do our first single crochet here. So 1 single crochet. Sorry, I'm out of view again. And then now we're going to do an increase next to it. Okay, one more time, we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. So let's do an increase here. And then next we're going to do our next set of 1 single crochet and then another increase. And we'll fast forward to the end so you guys keep doing 4 more times. And here we have it, round 3 with a total of 18 total stitches. Now let's start round 4 with 2 single crochet, 1 increase 6 times for a total of 24 stitches. So I'm just going to put my stitch marker here. Okay, so for the next few parts, I'm going to demonstrate and I'll be quiet for now so you guys can concentrate. We will be back when we finish with this row and I'll announce it. So enjoy some music for now. Okay, here we have it, round 4 with a total of 24 stitches. For round 5, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 5 sets of 3 single crochet increase, and then 2 last single crochet for a total of 30 stitches. Now, here's an alternate version. You can also do 6 sets of 3 single crochet and 1 increase. The reason why I'm having my pattern like this so that we can stagger the increase stitch so that it wouldn't have that weird hexagonal shape and then it'll be rounder. So I kind of split up the 3 single crochet into 2 parts, one at the beginning, one at the end. Okay, I will let you guys finish this round and then we'll meet back in later. So here we have it, round 5 with 30 stitches in total. Let's start our round 6 with 6 sets of 4 single crochet, 1 increase. So now that we stagger in our previous round, for this round we can just crochet in set as normal. Of course, you can split out the first group of single crochet however you like it to test out the staggering, but whatever you do, make sure that it's even, otherwise your circle will look lopsided. We will meet back at the end of this round. Here you have it, round 6 with 36 stitches in total. For round 7, we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1 increase, 5 sets of 5 single crochet increase, and then our last 3 single crochet again. So now we're back to staggering. I'm taking our first set of single crochet and then split it into 2 parts, one at the beginning, one at the end. Of course, you don't have to do your stagger round in odd number rows like mine. You can always do it even. I think that might be easier for splitting. I'll let you guys do crochet and then we'll meet back at the end. Here you have it, round 7 with 42 stitches in total. Let's move on to round 8 with 6 single crochet increase 6 times for a total of 48 stitches. And we're back to our normal round instead of stagger round again. Now that I'm talking with you guys, maybe I should split my stagger round in the even number row. It'll probably be easier then for me to split the first group of single crochet for beginning and end of the round. And as usual, we'll meet back at the end of this round. There you have it, round 8 for a total of 48 stitches. For round 9 to 16, you're going to do 48 single stitches all around. I almost say scritches. I'm having an itch on my foot, so I wanted to scratch. Maybe that's why I said scritches. Anyways, so this part can be very soothing if you're just watching a show and crocheting. It's mind-numbing task. And as usual, I will see you guys back once we finish round 16. And with the magic of YouTube video, we are at round 17 now. We're going to do 6 single crochet decrease for 6 sets for a total of 42 stitches. So once we made the widest part, the ice cream, this is when we're going to make it smaller. I will see you guys at the end once we finish round 17. there you have it, round 17 with 42 total stitches. We're going to proceed next to round 18, so let's remove our stitch marker here. For this round, you're going to do 5 single crochet, decrease for a set of 5, and finish up with 7 single crochet for a total of 37 stitches. Don't forget your stitch marker. As usual, I will see you guys at the end of this round. And we are done with round 18 for a total of 37 stitches. You can see now that it's forming more and more like ice cream, right? For round 19, we're going to do 6 sets of 4 single crochet, decrease, and we're going to have 1 random single crochet at the end for a total of 31 stitches. Why do I have that 1 random single crochet? Well, because I want to reach to 31. And you'll see why in a bit. I will meet you guys at the end. Here you have it, round 19 for a total of 31 stitches. In round 20, this is our fun round as we're going to make the skirt of the ice cream. You know how the melted ice cream look? This is what we're doing here. For this round, we're going to do front loop only for half double crochet, then 3 half double crochet, skip stitch, and continue all the way around until you have 1 single crochet left. I actually updated the instruction after I filmed this video, so if you want, honestly, for this round you can be as creative as you want. There's no right or wrong way of how the melted ice cream look, so let your creativity run wild. Or if you're like me and like to follow instruction, we can follow my instruction for round 20. Business as usual, I will see you at the end of this round. Actually, I forgot to mention, if you do be creative, make sure that you don't pull your stitches, your half double crochet stitch too tight, otherwise it's going to affect how we're going to crochet round 21. So just be careful with this round. See, the closer you do together, the more wavy skirt's going to be, so it's going to look like melted ice cream. Okay, let me see if I can turn to the other angle. I'm still getting used to the camera. Okay, so I will see you back in a bit after I finish the skirt. Okay, so now I finished the skirt, and this is what it looks like so far. Doesn't it look like melted ice cream at the end? Anyways, we're going to move on to round 21. So remember how we did front loop only. So so in the back you should see these back loop here that we're going to work around 21. So I did take some liberty in making this. So if you do follow my patterns, make sure you remember where your start and then end of the back loop is, because that's going to be important for round 21. Crochet loop. So this is where my first back loop single crochet is. So I'm gonna do a single crochet back in here. Okay, make sure you stitch marker this. It's very important that you know when your first back loop start. Okay, now we're gonna work 5 more single crochet. So I'm going to take this off camera a bit so I can see what I'm doing. So just go ahead and finish that and then we'll meet back later. Okay, let me show you this trick I use whenever it's hard to do a decrease in the back loop. So as you can see that we have our 6 single crochet here, and our next stitch is the decrease between here and here. So what I do is that I usually kind of loosen it up with a toothpick, or if you have a tapestry needle that works too, so that's easier for your hook to pick up. So we're just gonna like keep loosening it. That way it will be easier for your hook to pick up. Sometimes it can be tight, so let's try it out. See if I can loosen this up. I don't know why, but I feel I'm doing surgery right now. Okay, so you're just gonna have to yank it up a bit so that your hook can go through. Okay, and then don't lose me here. Okay, I'm gonna do this off camera because I can't see if I'm trying to aim the camera shot. Okay, finally, you can see here I did it really up close to my eye so I can see where it is to pull through. There you go, we got our first decrease. Okay, 2 more set to go. Okay, so when you finish with round 21, you should have 27 loops total. Hello, so I think you might have noticed that I changed the ice cream top color. This is because as I was working on this one, I feel pretty far. I noticed that my tension was too tight, so the size is smaller than I expected, so it wouldn't fit my cone. So make sure that whenever you crochet, ensure to have the even tension throughout, otherwise it's going to look like this. Look at the size difference. This is how stressed I was yesterday. It's super tight, and so today when I redo it, I think I kind of overcompensate a little bit too much, and so the top part of my ice cream is too loose, and so my tension finally got even out towards the end. So this pattern is very dependent on your tension, so whatever tension you work on your ice cream top, make sure it's the same for your cone, otherwise it won't fit. And so let's continue from round 22, do front loop only. But before we get to that, I kind of already get started. What we want is that the reason why I did 27 stitches in round 21, this is something to hold on, will be used to hold on our cone. So if you were to have a cone ready, I like to do the cone first so I can test my ice cream top as I go. So if you were to stick it in here, right? So let's say we don't have anything to to catch on it, what would happen? Boop, it would fall out of place, right? So I add in round 21 there, so use something to hold on to. So if you were to look at it, it won't fall off on its own. If we were to do the upside down Dairy Queen test, which is a test to see if an ice cream will fall off, it passes the test. So this is what we want. So we're just gonna add in that round to keep everything in place. And then for round 22, this is the opening mouth where the cone will be inserted. And remember, our audience here are toddlers, for kids that are toddlers age, so they probably don't have fine motor control yet, so you want the opening to be obvious, so when they play with it, they can just push it in like that. And then here you go, here's some ice cream. And it'll be easier for them to insert, but it won't be easy for the ice cream to fall out. So that's the goal right here. So for this row, we're gonna do 3 sets of 6 single crochet, 1 increase, and then we're going to finish out with 5 single crochet, 1 increase for a total of 31 stitches. I already started off with 2 sets, so I'm going to finish my 6 sets. Third set of 6 single crochet and 1 increase. Oh, and then make sure that you do it in the front loop only. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to do an increase here. Okay, well, there you have it, round 22, 31 stitches. Next, for round 23, we're going to cut the yarn tail. I already cut it off round 22, so I'll just pull it through. Then we're going to do an invisible hide after we finish with everything. So this part is a little bit tricky with round 23. First, you're going to look at your inner loops. So let me flip it this way so it's easier for you to see. So you see this back loop that we did in our previous round. We're going to start our new yarn with this back loop. But before we do that, let's identify our starting point. So if we flip it over, use your stitch marker and then mark where our first back loop is. So I'm pretty sure my first back loop is this. Can't tell if it's this piece or that piece. It looked like this piece over here. Just ensure that you have 31 back loops, and if you're unsure, go ahead and count them, as this is crucial for our next step. Okay, now that you make sure that you have 27 back loops, the easiest way for me to do it, I'm going to flip it inside out, and then I'm gonna look at where my starting point is, and we're just going to do a slip stitch. So let's do a slip stitch here. Remember, make sure that you take your stitch marker off, you know where your first back loop will be. So I'm going to insert my hook in, and then with my new yarn, I think I left the tail a bit too long, so you're going to use your new yarn and then do a slip stitch in. Okay, you did a slip stitch. Okay, and then go ahead and do a single crochet in the same stitch for me. So we're going to ignore our slip stitch when we count, and we're just going to start off a single crochet. Remember, when we start counting, we're going to ignore the slip stitch and start counting from the single crochet. I would stitch marker just so I don't forget. So let's go ahead and stitch marker the first single crochet, and then start continue with the rest of our back loop until you get to the very end. So in total, you should have 27 stitches. Okay, you get the idea. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the round, and we'll meet back. We finish and making sure that we have 27 stitches all around. Let's flip it right side out again. Okay, and then for round 23, we're going to increase it back to 30 so that we can have an inner layers to hold the cone in place. So let's do 3 sets of 6 single crochet, increase, and then 6 single crochet. That'll take us up to 30. Okay, so for this step, I'm going to switch to a bigger hook. We're going to do a 3.5 milliliters here. So remember, this is where we would started from. So let's start from there. It might be a little bit harder for you to do at first, since it's, for my case, it's so slippery. Yay! Okay, all right, I think I did it. Woohoo! All right, so we got our first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then increase. And then we're just going to finish off with our last 6 single crochet. Okay, there you have it. Next we're going to do another round of 30 single crochet, but this time we're going to do with our 2.5mm hook. Don't forget your stitch marker. Two, so on and so forth. I will meet you guys back at the end when we finish. Next we're going to do a set, 4 set of 5 single crochet decrease, and then finish off with 2 single crochet. Okay, so again we're using our 2.5mm hooks. So let's start with 1. Forget our stitch marker. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then decrease. I always have to double check my counting. So for this round you should have a total of 26 stitches. So if your finger can fit, we can start stuffing at this point. If not, I'm sorry, we might have to frog back several rounds. I forgot to remind you. I usually stuff at this round, so I completely forgot to mention that earlier. I make sure that you kind of create a hole in the center so that when we test our cone fit, there should be a place for the cone to set. So just going to stuff it in. So as you stuff in, make sure you use your 2 fingers to kind of spread out to create a hole in the center. So yeah, my tension is not even throughout the scoops. It look kind of weird. If your tension is even, these scoops should look much nicer. So now if you want to test for the cone fit, you can just unhook it and then kind of push in the center like this, and then test the cone and push it in. You see how it already stay in place like that. Dairy Queen test. Doesn't fall off. Ta-da! So for this next round, we're going to continue what we did in the previous round with 26 stitches. So we're just going to continue to crochet 26 stitches all around. So just single crochet, right? Next you're going to do decrease 4 single crochet, 4 set up that 2 single crochet. That will give you a total of 22 stitches, and then you're going to follow with 22 single crochet. So I'm explaining 2 rounds in a row. So I'm going to start the first few set and I'm going to pause and we'll catch up. So first we'll do a decrease. sure that when you finish this round, you're going to continue with another round of 22 single crochet. Now let's do our next round of 4 sets of 3 single crochet, decrease, and then 2 single crochet. So let's start with 1, 2, 3, and then decrease. Now we're going to do 2 single crochet, decrease 4 times. And of course, as you're working on this, you can always test to see if the ice cream is as rounded as you like. If not, you can always stop more. Then we'll finish off with 2 single crochet for this round. You should have total 14 stitches. So now let's move on to our next round. So let's start with a decrease. Then 1 single crochet, and then decrease, 1 single crochet. Okay, so once you're happy with the result here, you can cut off about 1 foot long of yarn. We're going to thread the front part of all the loops in to close the hole. 2, 3. Right, so now you're going to kind of weave it in here. You go all the way out to this end, right in the center. Okay, you weave it out all the way to this end, pull it out, and then over here make sure you push everything in nice and tight so that it's flush. It's flush against everything. Okay, so once you have it here, you want to secure it so that when we remove the ice cream, this inner layer won't come out with the ice cream. So you pull all the way through and then kind of like weave it back in here and then out at the bottom again. So weave it back in, then out at the bottom here. There we go, and it should stay pretty secure. So now you're just trying to unflatten this, kind of like pull it up like this. Now we're going to cut off the excess yarn. Maybe I'll pull it out somewhere in the middle and then we'll just cut that off. Okay, and then push it in. Ta-da! All right, and then we'll take care of this end right here so it won't show. So far so good. So this is how you do an invisible weave. You would weave in, so not the next one but the one right after that, pull it through and then go back into the original loop where this thread came from. That way you create some sort of invisible stitch right here. So you can just hide the yarn tail end somewhere in here and you can just snip it off. Or if you want, you can create another layer of skirt with the outer loop right here. I think that would look pretty cute. Alright, so let's pretend that I cut this off and weave it in. I'm gonna try to do the outer skirt. So if you were a kid and you play with this, it's like, hey, do you want some ice cream? Okay, sure. And then boop, push it in. Here you go. Here's some ice cream. Ta-da, ta-da. Alright, well, happy crocheting. Let me know how it goes for you or if there's any changes I should make to this pattern. Thank you.